Hey guys, we finally have the names of the people who are going to be working on HUGTTO PRECURE. Let's check a little bit, let's talk a little bit about them, let's see what we have in store for us. But before talking about that, I want to say something about Curiel, Curiel. We were talking about her in the past videos, and I was in doubt if her name was actually Curiel or if by any chance they were actually giving her a French name like the other two. But it seems to be the case. Her name is actually Curiel. She has an English name different from the other two characters. And if there was any doubt about that, no doubt anymore. All of the official merchandise romanize her name as Curiel, so that makes it official. And I don't know if you guys can read because the way the font they chose to spell Curiel and the images I'm gonna leave here are not very good, but I'm gonna leave the link for a Bandai page. It's all in Japanese, but you can see the images. So now let's talk a little bit about the staff of HUGTTO PRECURE. And to be honest, after seeing the staff, I'm even more hyped. So, okay, the producers of the series are Takashi Tanaka, Fumi Yazaka, and Keisuke Naito. Some people were a little bit afraid because Keisuke Naito was a producer of Mahotsukai Precure, and we know he didn't really do a good job, right? His job in Mahotsukai was rough. He had a very hard time with that season, but let's not forget something very important. Mahotsukai brought Precure back to life in Japan. So even though we Western viewers don't really enjoy Mahotsukai, it was a very big hit in Japan and it really brought Precure back to life, which was suffering from lower and lower sales each year, and Mahotsukai brought it back again. So we can complain about it, but we cannot forget how important Mahotsukai Precure was at that time. So let's talk a little bit about the directors of this series. This is something that's very impressive because the directors of HUGTTO PRECURE are really good. The first one is Sato Junichi. Sato Junichi is someone who is very famous and he worked in lots of different series. But the most important thing, he worked in lots of Magical Girl series and he worked in Sailor Moon. He worked in all of the classic Sailor Moon seasons. He worked as a director in the first season, in the classic season, and he worked as an episode director in every single season of Sailor Moon. And he also worked in shows like Fushigiboshi no Futago Hime. He worked in Kaleido Star. I love Kaleido Star. He worked in Ojamajo Doremi. He worked in Princess Tutu, another great magical girl show. If you haven't watched Princess Tutu, you should go and watch it because it's gorgeous. And he also worked in Shugo Karadoki as a supervisor. I love Shugo Karadoki. It's my favorite Shugo Kara season. And he also worked in Mahotsukai Tai. Gorgeous, right? We have a great big name for HUGTTO PRECURE as a series director. We also have another director who is Akifumi Zako. Akifumi Zako worked in Fresh Precure as a director, amazing Precure season, and he also worked in lots of seasons of Precure as a director of specific episodes, not the series as a whole. And he also worked in some other anime like Toriko. So another very big name. The series composition is going to be done by Fumi Tsubota. Fumi Tsubota worked as the scripter of Kira Kira Precure. So for me, at least, a great professional. I love Kira Kira Precure, you guys know that. The character designer of HUGTTO PRECURE, as some people were discussing and some people were predicting, is Kawamura Toshie. Kawamura Toshie is the same character designer of other Precure seasons as Yes Precure 5, Smile Precure, Futariwa Precure, Max Heart, Splash Star, and she also worked as key animator in lots of different seasons. In my opinion, Toshie does an amazing job, brilliant job in Precure. She always does a brilliant job, an out of this world job in Precure. So we can really expect something good coming from her. I'm pretty sure of that. We also have music. The music, the composer of the season is Yuki Hayashi. Yuki Hayashi worked with Kira Kira Precure. Kira Kira Precure, great music, right? And he also worked in some other series like Haikyuu, Boku no Hero Academia, That Parade, and lots of other great anime out there. So I think when it comes to music, Great name as well. So let's now talk about the voice actors. We have voice actors for the 5 main characters, and we do have some newbies, so it's kind of hard to judge. So let's check a little bit. Curiel, Hana, our main character, Nonohana, is going to be voiced by someone called Hiki Sakahie. Hiki Sakahie is someone who is new to voice acting, and she, at least in anime, I don't know if she worked in other types of voice actings, but in anime specifically, she's probably someone who's very new. She only worked, at least according to my anime list, she only worked in Princess Principal. If you haven't watched Princess Principal, go watch it. It's an anime from earlier this year. It's an amazing anime. And she only got a minor role in one of the episodes. She's like a very minor character, so we can't really judge based on that. So she's a very new person. She's a new face, and she's going to bring lots of life to Hana, our main character this season. Saya, Cure Anje. Yakujishi Saya, Cure Anje, is going to be voiced by someone called Honizumi Hina. Honizumi Hina worked in Sailor Moon Crystal Season 3 as Vilui, one of the Witches 5. And to be really honest with you guys, I don't remember Vilui's voice. It was just for an episode. So yeah, she landed a pretty big role, right, at the start of her career as well. But she also had other minor roles in lots of different anime. I think that one of the biggest roles she landed is Hine from Kyokai no Hine. That series is from the same creator as Inuyasha. She voiced Rin when Rin was a child. So yeah, it's a minor role, but it's a big role. I mean, Rin is the main character of the story. So now let's change the focus a little bit, because now we're going to talk about our great Cure Britney. She's not going to be voiced by Britney Spears, but Cure Etoile Kagayaki Homare is going to be voiced by Ogura Yui. If you guys don't know Ogura Yui is a very big, famous idol in Japan. She was part of the duo Yui Kawari. They worked together in releasing singles, music videos, and some different works, but they disbanded. I think they disbanded earlier this year. But they were a very famous duo in Japan. So if we have to talk about Ogura's roles, we are going to stay like 20 minutes here only talking about her roles. So let me just sum it up by focusing on Magical Girl. She is a voice actor of Berlinetarine. Berlinetarine is one of the main characters of Vivid Strike. Vivid Strike is part of the Nanoha series, and I think it started airing last year, if I'm not mistaken. And Rine is one of the main characters of this story. She also voiced Sumika from Yuri Kuma Arashi, a great anime from the mind of that crazy author that I forgot the name. You guys know I'm horrible for names, which directed Sailor Moon S back in the day, Shoujo Kakumei Utena, and I mean, he is amazing. That guy is totally bonkers, and he is gorgeous. If you haven't watched Yuri Kuma Arashi, another tip from me. Go watch it. It's amazing. So let's have a look at HUGTTO's voice actor that is called Konomi Tada. Konomi Tada is not very famous. She dubbed lots of characters, lots of small roles here and there in anime like Mayoga, Girls and Panzer, and Akame ga Kill. So she only has minor roles in the shows that she worked on. And the last character that we have the name is Harry the Hamster, Hariham Harry. This little prankster is going to be voiced by Noda Junko. Noda Junko is a very famous voice actor, and she worked with lots of famous anime as well. First thing, she voiced Zakuro from Tokyo Mew Mew. So how amazing is she? I mean, she's great. She also voiced Emiya Shiro from Fate Stay Night. You guys probably know Shiro from the Fate series. And she also voiced Vimon from Digimon. So I mean, lots of big roles that she has, right? So yeah, I think, oh, and she also voiced Frankie from One Piece. She voices Frankie from One Piece. So big voice actor that we have here. Come on. So those are all of the info that we have on the staff. I think that this staff is big. Things are huge here. Don't you guys agree with me? Things are huge. I think things are going to be gorgeous. And one last piece of news, and I was searching for more news and more stuff on HUGTTO that I found. What's the name of this? This is a little bit of more info on Harry the hamster, and we learned through some pieces of merchandise that Harry is going to have a treehouse. This treehouse is going to work as like the place in which the girls are going to meet, like their hideout. So this hideout is called, I think it's going to be called Beauty Harry, something like that. And in this image, we can see Harry's human form. The quality is not very good. The image is very small, but we can see his face. It's like in a chibi form, so we can't really judge how he's actually going to look. But that mischievous face, he's going to be a very mischievous character, I'm sure. So I think he's going to be a prankster. He's going to be that tsundere character that gets stressed very easily, especially because I don't think that he actually wants to be a mentor to those girls. Anyway, I think that's all I wanted to say for this video. I said too much. So now we have lots to discuss when it comes to the staff of this season, right? We have big news, big names for HUGTTO. I think HUGTTO is going to be amazing. Great stuff. Don't you guys agree with me? Guys, thanks so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.